You are about to receive words that feel deeply personal, something sacred that has remained hidden within your heart. But before anything begins to change, pause and ask yourself one question. Why does this message feel so powerful to me right now? Why did your heart react the moment you saw it? Why did it feel as though these words were speaking directly to you? Perhaps it is because they are touching a place within you that has been waiting for comfort, truth, and understanding. Archangel Michael says the person you miss, the one you loved and lost too soon, is connected to the memories rising within you now. Their life may have ended, but the love you shared continues to speak through everything they left behind. Do not rush away from this moment. You may not receive the exact conversation you once hoped to have, but you can still allow your heart to hear what their love was always trying to express. You may be wondering whether this is simply another message, but something about it feels different because it has reached you at a time when your spirit is finally ready to face what has remained unfinished. The atmosphere around your heart is changing. A door to healing has opened, and you have arrived at the moment when you can finally begin walking through it. You did not reach this point without purpose. Every memory, every unanswered question, and every night you spent missing them has brought you to a deeper understanding of what their presence meant in your life. Imagine the angels watching with compassion as Archangel Michael says, "My beloved child, do not turn away from the truth your heart is ready to receive. Something important may be disappearing. Not the love itself, but the opportunity to release the fear, regret, or guilt that has kept you trapped in the past. The person who passed would not want you to make decisions from pain that could damage the future still waiting for you. They would want you to pause, look carefully at your life, and avoid a choice you may later regret. There may be situations unfolding around you that you do not fully understand yet. That is why this is a time for patience, prayer, and wisdom rather than panic. Archangel Michael reminds you that the memories returning over recent days are not meaningless. Perhaps you have struggled to sleep, dreamed about them, or suddenly heard their name in your mind. Those experiences may be your heart trying to process love, grief, and words that were never completed. They are not signs that you are weak. They reveal how deeply this person mattered to you. Now, you have reached the moment when you can stop running from those emotions and allow them to speak. The one you loved may have left this world sooner than anyone expected, but their greatest concern would never have been whether you remembered every detail. Their deepest hope would have been that you understood what they could not say clearly before they passed. In their final thoughts, you were not forgotten. You were loved, remembered, and carried within their heart. And now they've sent a sign. This message is the sign. They are screaming through heaven, please show it to them. Before it vanishes. Do you want to know what they saw before they died? They saw you. And now you're standing in the most sacred moment of your life, where truth is finally allowed to be spoken. This is why you've been feeling off lately. This is why you've been thinking of someone who's gone. This is why the clocks have been repeating numbers. The universe has been preparing you for this single message. Archangel Michael says they've waited long enough. Please don't make them wait anymore. You are not supposed to know this truth until now. That's why it feels heavy in your chest. That's why your eyes are beginning to water without knowing why. Because your soul remembers. They tried to send dreams. They tried to send signs. But the pain you were carrying blocked it. Until now. Today, the door is open. Michael says, if you stay, You will hear what they've been dying, literally dying to say. But if you walk away, this message will fade. Forever. Their final message is inside this. Your name, your energy, your fate, it was carved into this moment by something divine. And the truth is, your pain is not just sadness. It's a signal. It's heaven's way of knocking on your door. Archangel Michael says they are still with you. They never left, but they need you to know what was hidden. And if you read carefully, you'll begin to feel them. Right now, they are sitting beside you, watching, whispering, praying you won't skip this, because if you do, their message will disappear with the wind. Michael says they have been trying to protect you from what's coming next. But without this message, you will walk into the future blind. There is something about your family they want to tell you, something that is about to break apart if you don't act. Someone is hiding something, and your loved one who passed, they saw it coming. They tried to speak it in their final breath, but no one listened, so they waited and waited until God allowed them to speak through this moment. You are the only one chosen to hear this, because you're the only one who can stop what's coming. Michael says this is sacred, this is sealed, this is only for you. Please, my beloved child, open your heart and read every word. Heaven is watching, and the one you miss is finally ready to tell you everything. You may feel your skin shiver. That's not fear. That's the soul memory waking up. You may feel heat in your chest. That's not anxiety. That's the divine trying to burst through your armor. Michael says they forgave you. Yes, even if you thought they left this world angry, they didn't. They left whispering your name, with love, with tears, with hope. And their hope is in this moment. You can feel it, can't you? That you were meant to find this, that all the noise in your life was leading up to this truth. Michael says this person loved you more than they ever said out loud, and now they want to give you one final miracle. But you must stay. You must listen. There is a message about your future, about a decision you're about to make. And if you skip this, you will make that decision with only half the truth. Michael says you will cry for the rest of your life if you ignore this, because this moment right here is the last time they will speak to you. They are using this message to send light through the darkness you've been walking in. And the next few words are their truth. Good. You stayed. That means your soul is listening. That means they know you're finally ready. Archangel Michael says the message begins now, and it will shake you, but it will also save you. They want you to know they never left the room, even on the day you thought you were alone, even when the world went quiet and the grief felt unbearable. Even when you whispered, "Where are you?" They were there, standing behind you, touching your shoulder, begging heaven to let them speak. And now heaven has said yes, but only once. Archangel Michael has made a deal with God to open this small window in time, to allow this message to come through, to let you hear what the world was never supposed to tell you. This is why you feel like crying right now. It's not sadness. It's recognition. Your soul is recognizing its missing half. And the truth is about to pour in like rain, the person you're thinking about right now. Yes, them. The one whose photo you keep. The one whose name you refuse to delete from your phone. They are right here. And they say, please don't let them lie to you anymore. Michael says something was hidden from you after their death. And if you don't open your eyes now, someone will take what is yours. Someone who has been watching you from the shadows. Someone who wants to erase your name from a blessing that was meant only for you. The message is clear. There is money. There is property. There is a name written. But they're trying to hide it. They're trying to shift it before you see the papers. They want you distracted. They want you quiet. But your loved one who passed, they've had enough. Michael says they begged to bring this truth to you because they saw what was coming next. They saw how someone would smile in front of you and then stab you the moment you turned around. They saw you trusting the wrong person, giving your energy to the wrong soul, opening your heart to someone who only wants to take. But here's the miracle. You don't have to walk into that trap. Not now, because this message is your rescue. It's your rope in the middle of the storm. It's the lighthouse your ancestors lit for you before they left this world. Michael says you're not crazy. You were right to feel what you felt. You were right to suspect what you couldn't prove. You were right to feel unsafe even when everyone told you you were overthinking. Your instincts were not wrong. They were divine. And now heaven is confirming what your soul has been screaming. But this isn't just about what's been taken from you. It's about what's still coming to you. A miracle has been held back, kept on pause, because someone in your life was blocking the flow. But your loved ones saw this, and they told Michael, give them one last chance to see the full picture. Let them open their eyes before the miracle is transferred to someone else. Yes, that's what this is about. If you don't receive this message in full, if you skip or scroll, the miracle can be reassigned. It will be given to someone else. That's how serious this is. Michael says you were never supposed to find this video unless you were ready to change your fate. And now you are. You're finally strong enough to see the lies, strong enough to remember what they whispered in your dream that night, strong enough to say, asterisk, I know who I am. I know what I deserve. I know who is trying to take it from me. And I know who is still fighting for me from the other side, asterisk. Because, make no mistake, they are fighting for you right now. Fighting to get this message through. Fighting to stop you from making a decision that would destroy the next 7 years of your life. Michael says, you must open your eyes now, or the door will close. You have 24 hours, maybe less. After that, this energy will shift. This moment will pass. And what you could have had will be delayed until you finally listen again. But they don't want that for you. They want you to receive. They want you to know. They want you to finally believe that they are still around you, still holding you, still whispering your name like a prayer. Do you know what they saw before they passed? They saw your future. They saw you rise. They saw you laughing again. They saw you getting everything you ever prayed for. But they also saw a shadow, a person, a betrayal. And they swore they would never leave until they could warn you. That warning is what you're reading right now. You still have time. Michael says you have not ruined your life. You have not missed your chance, but you are at the final doorway, and the door is closing fast. Will you step through, or will you keep pretending this isn't real? Because the soul who died, they say, asterisk, if you love me, please don't ignore me now, asterisk. Michael says their energy is still blowing in your room, still waiting to be heard, still begging you to stay just a little longer. Because in the next part of this message, asterisk, asterisk, they will reveal the biggest secret of all. Good. You stayed. Archangel Michael is relieved. The angels are still holding the gate open. And the soul who's been waiting in silence, asterisk, they just smiled asterisk because they know. Finally ready to hear the rest. This part, it's the most important. They want to tell you about the night they died. Michael says, asterisk, they never got to speak what was in their heart before they left their body. But now, through you, they finally can, asterisk. That night they were afraid, not of dying, but of not getting to say goodbye. They thought about your face, your smile, your laugh, your future. They weren't scared of the light. They were scared that you might think they gave up on you. But they never did, not even for a second. As they left this world, their soul reached for you. In that last breath, they asked the angels, will they know I still love them? And Michael replied, not yet, but someday, yes. That someday is now. This is the moment they dreamed of. The chance to say the things they never got to say, like how proud they are of you, like how they never stopped watching you even when you thought they were gone, like how you became stronger than they ever imagined. But there's something else, something they couldn't tell you while they were alive, a family truth, a lie wrapped in love, something they overheard, something they witnessed, something they were too afraid to confront before they passed. But now they can speak it freely. Michael says, asterisk, someone you trust has not been honest with you, asterisk. This person wears a smile, but their heart is dark, and they've been manipulating your path, quietly, gently, but with purpose. They do not want you to succeed, because your success would expose something they're hiding. Your loved ones saw this, and they've been trying to tell you. Every broken friendship, every delay, every strange coincidence, it all ties back to this person. And unless you release them now, you will carry their curse into the next season of your life. Michael says, asterisk, the next 6 weeks are sacred. They will define the next 6 years, but only if you walk away from what's draining you, asterisk. Your past loved one is begging. Please don't give your energy to the one who doubted you. I saw what they said when you weren't in the room. I saw the lies they spread. I saw the moment they chose to betray you, and I could not stop it until now. That's why this message came when it did, to warn you, to prepare you, to give you the upper hand before it's too late, because a new season is arriving, a shift, a golden opportunity. Something you've been praying for is coming closer. But if your energy is still tied to that person, the blessing won't come through. Michael says, asterisk, God does not bless what drains you, asterisk. So this is your test, and your loved one says, I am still here to guide you. But you must take the first step. You must leave the door open long enough for this truth to settle into your soul. You may be thinking, what should I do now? Here's what Michael says. Don't tell anyone about this message, asterisk, asterisk, because not everyone around you is ready for the truth. Write their name down, asterisk, asterisk. Yes, the name of the person you believe this message is about. The first one that came to your mind. That's not a guess. That's your intuition. That's them speaking through you. Look for the number 7, asterisk, asterisk. 7 is the sign that the angels are confirming everything in this message. When you see it, know this: they're watching, they're guiding, they're with you. And finally, don't skip the ending, asterisk, asterisk, because what comes next will unlock the miracle they've been holding for you. You see, heaven was never punishing you. The delay wasn't punishment. It was protection. They were waiting for this moment, asterisk, this very second asterisk, to make sure you were ready to. And now it's yours, but only if you accept it. Michael says the veil is closing. The light is starting to dim. Your loved one is being called back into silence. And this is their last message. Asterisk, I'm still with you in every step you take, in every song you hear, in every tear you cry. I'm not gone. I've just changed form. I'm in the wind. I'm in the silence. I'm in the strength you feel when you thought you had none. And I need you to live now. I need you to shine. I need you to stop waiting and start choosing. You are the miracle. Now go claim the life I saw when I looked at you for the last time. Archangel Michael now places his hand on your shoulder. He whispers, asterisk, it is done, asterisk, but only if you believe. And so heaven watches. Your name, now pulsing with divine frequency, echoes gently through realms where time doesn't exist. Exist where pain cannot follow, where love is eternal. Archangel Michael stands with his sword lowered, not for battle, but for blessing, because the war you've been fighting is over. The heaviness you've carried, it's melting, quietly, softly, supernaturally. You don't even have to try anymore. You just have to allow. Allow the love. Allow the help. Allow the restoration. Because now everything changes. Your loved one, yes, that loved one is still near. Not as a ghost. Not as a memory. What is light? As presence. As love that refused to die. Their energy is so close you could breathe it in if you dared. And maybe you just did. That chill on your arms. That thump in your chest. That's strange, beautiful stillness. That's them. They're watching you realize that it's real. Not all of it. The signs. The timing. This message was perfectly placed by heaven. That every delay was actually divine protection. That the people who left had to. That the job that slipped through was never meant to hold you. That the relationship that broke your heart was actually breaking open your destiny. You didn't fail. You outgrew what was never built to hold. Your greatness. And now you're becoming dangerous to the darkness. Because light lives in you again. Hope lives in you again. And faith, true, solid, unshakable faith, is beginning to burn inside you, even if it's quiet, even if it's only a flicker. Heaven doesn't need a forest fire to move. It only needs a spark. Archangel Michael says, the next 14 days will define your next 14 months. You'll receive a divine encounter, a reversal, a release, an unexpected opening. Something you almost gave up on will circle back, and this time you'll be ready. But it comes with a test. You may feel tempted to return to the very things God helped you overcome. You may want to react like the person you used to be, or settle for less because fear makes the familiar seem safer. Do not go back. You are no longer the version of yourself who begged to be noticed, accepted, or understood. You have changed, and the strength growing within you is proof that your past no longer has authority over your identity. You are becoming someone who changes the atmosphere, breaks destructive cycles, carries light into dark places, and creates peace where confusion once ruled. Walk with that awareness. Speak with that confidence. Believe it with your whole heart. Your life is becoming evidence that God does not forget His promises. The person you loved would look at the road ahead of you and see something more beautiful than simple recovery. What is coming is not only healing, it is renewal, purpose, abundance, and the visible fruit of everything you survived. You are not merely escaping the past. You are stepping into a life that once seemed impossible. They would not only be proud of you, they would be amazed by how far you have come while carrying greater pain and receiving less support than most people ever knew. Their message to you is simple. The hardest part is behind you. Now you must learn how to receive what peace, love, and grace are bringing into your life. This time, do not overlook the blessing because you are too accustomed to disappointment. Remain open. Pay attention to what is changing around you and within you. You may begin experiencing unexpected peace in the middle of chaos. People or memories from your past may return with greater clarity, helping you understand what once confused you. You may notice meaningful songs, repeated numbers, familiar dreams, or sudden movement in areas that seemed blocked for years. You may also hear a quiet inner voice reminding you that something new is approaching. Do not immediately dismiss every meaningful moment as coincidence. Some of these experiences may simply be signs that your perspective, choices, and direction are finally coming into alignment. Archangel Michael says you have endured hidden tests that no one else witnessed. Heaven saw the moments when you chose kindness while your own heart was breaking. It saw when you remained silent instead of defending yourself, when you refused to return cruelty for cruelty, and when you continued loving without demanding anything in return. None of those choices were wasted. They shaped your character, strengthened your spirit, and prepared you to carry what is coming next with wisdom. Now you are ready, not only spiritually, but also emotionally and physically, to receive what belongs in this chapter of your life. This is part of the inheritance created through your faith, endurance, and growth. No person, fear, failure, or past mistake has the power to take away what God is building within you. From this moment forward, speak these words aloud with faith. I am walking in divine alignment. What belongs in my life is drawing near. I receive it with peace, wisdom, and an open heart. As you say those words, imagine the person you love smiling, not because every problem has disappeared, but because you have finally understood the message they would want you to carry. You are allowed to move forward. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to live without returning to the pain you have already overcome. And not just them, yourself, your soul, your calling, your annoying. They say to you now in their final whisper for tonight, don't you dare give up. We didn't bring you this far to stop here. Keep going. The best part is about to begin. And with that, the message ends. But the miracle begins. Yes. Let's close this sacred message the way heaven intended. Soft, powerful, unforgettable. The silence after this message isn't really silence at all. It's full of presence, full of peace, full of every word they were too afraid to say. In life now resting gently in your spirit. Archangel Michael says, \*, you've heard what you were meant to hear. Now comes the part that changes your life. Asterisk what you choose to do with it, asterisk. There are no more warnings, no more signs, no more messages after this. Heaven has given you the full truth. The person who died, they finally told you everything. And they are watching now with a kind of quiet love only the other side can carry. You may feel heavy. You may feel strange. That's how it always feels when something spiritual touches something human. That's how it feels when a miracle is unfolding and your soul knows it's real. So breathe. Just breathe. Close your eyes. Let your body catch up to what your spirit already knows. They are not gone. They were never gone. They just moved into a space where love has no distance. What time does not exist. Where your voice still reaches them even when you whisper at 3 a.m. You can talk to them now, tonight, tomorrow, forever, because now the connection has been reopened. Michael says, asterisk, this message was not a story. It was a door. And you step through it, asterisk. From this point on, you'll start noticing things. A name you haven't heard in years will suddenly show up. The number 7 will appear again and again. Strangers will say things only that person used to say. Your dreams will become clearer. Your tears will dry faster. And the voice inside you will get louder, stronger, more peaceful. That's them. That's your person. That's your miracle unfolding silently, divinely, perfectly. But only for those who believed. Only for the ones who didn't skip this. Only for the ones who stayed until the very end like you did. Michael smiles now, not because his mission is complete, but because you finally allowed yourself to receive. And now heaven can open the door that's been waiting in silence. As the message fades, the energy remains, and it whispers one last thing to your soul. Asterisk, everything you lost is being returned but better. The one you loved has not left you. And now you are free, asterisk. Walk forward, child of the light. Your destiny has been reset, and you are no longer alone. This message was the miracle. You just lived it. Good, because the most important part is still waiting to be said. Your loved one is kneeling now, not in sorrow, but in reverence. They are kneeling before God, holding your name like a prayer. They are asking, not demanding, not pleading, but asking with tears of love. That heaven thank you, peace. That heaven remember all the good you've done. All the love you gave even when you were empty. All the nights you stayed silent just to keep someone else strong. They are showing God your scars and saying, look what they survived. Isn't that enough? And God smiles. Because God never forgot you. He's watched your journey with eyes that don't miss anything. Not the quiet pain. Not the fake miles. Not the moments you thought about giving up. And now He's answering. Not through thunder, not through a voice in the clouds, but through this soft, divine unfolding, through this message, through this very moment. This is the moment you were destined to remember who you are. There is money with your name on it, not just physical currency, but divine provision, an inheritance in spirit and in earth. Your loved one wants you to know that someone in your family before they passed left something behind, a blessing, a protection, a gift, and you're about to find it. It may look like a letter, a voice message, a name mentioned suddenly, or illegal opportunity. but it will lead to something big. Archangel Michael has been placing the pieces like a chessboard. You only need to move when your spirit says, move. But before the blessing arrives, your loved one is asking for one thing. Forgive yourself. Forgive the years you feel you wasted. Forgive the people you trusted who turned away. Forgive the silence. Forgive the weakness. None of it was your fault. You were doing your best with a heart that was already half broken, and still you gave love. You gave hope. You gave light. They saw it. Heaven saw it. Michael wants to remind you, you are not waiting for your miracle. Your miracle is waiting for you. And every second you spend doubting is a second the miracle holds its breath, waiting to be invited in. Invited now. Not with a fancy prayer, not with perfect words. Just say, I'm ready. Say it out loud. Say it in your chest, whispering in your soul. That's all it takes. Heaven doesn't need volume. It needs truth. Your loved one is stepping back now, but only slightly. They're not leaving. They never will. But they want to give you space to move. They want you to walk forward and see how powerful you really are. Because they know what's coming in the next 48 hours. A shift, a message, a connection, a decision that seems small but unlocks something massive. If you knew what was waiting for you, you wouldn't sleep tonight. You'd dance in the dark. You'd cry not from pain, but from anticipation. Michael says, do not shrink when your blessing arrives. Don't question whether you deserve it. Don't wait for someone to approve it. Step into it like it already has your name carved on the walls, because it does. It was yours before you were born. It was delayed, yes, but never denied. And now heaven is clearing the path. All you need to do is stop hiding. There's something else. The person in heaven saw the future. They were shown it before they sent this message. They saw you healed. They saw you in love. They saw your bank account overflow. They saw your face glowing with peace. They saw your tears dried, your smile returned, your hands creating beauty again. They saw the room you'll walk into where everyone turns to look at you, not because of how you look, but because of the energy you carry, that divine, untouchable, peaceful strength. That is where you're headed, faster than you know. But only if you don't give up now. You're almost at the end of the tunnel. It's been dark for so long, you forgot what light looks like. But you're not crazy. That glow up ahead, that's real. That warmth in your chest, that's the confirmation. That sign you keep seeing, that's not your mind playing games. That's your miracle waving at you, asking if you're ready to meet. Michael says this is a once-in-a-lifetime invitation. You can't go back after this. Not too old pain. Not a small thinking. Not to people who drain you. This message is a spiritual contract, and by reading this far, you've already said yes. Your loved one is smiling now. Their face is soft. Their light is stronger. And their final words are simple. You are always worth fighting for. They believe in your future more than you believe in your past. And they will walk beside you until you see it come to life. You won't be alone anymore. You never were. And now heaven is about to prove it. In ways you can't imagine, but you'll recognize them the moment they come. Just promise, whatever you do, don't skip the sign when it arrives. Because this time, it was meant for you. And this time, heaven refuses to be ignored. Good. You're still here, and that means the blessing is sealing itself around you. Archangel Michael says the ones who stay until the end, they're the ones having trusts. And now, because you stayed, heaven trusts you. There's no flash of lightning, no thunder from the clouds, just a sacred shift, quiet and deep, as your name is written on a new page in the book of life. Michael turns one last time and says, asterisk, they want to thank you, asterisk. Yes, them, the soul who passed, the one who whispered your name while they crossed the veil, the one who begged God to keep you protected even if it meant they had to stay in silence for a while. They want you to know, asterisk, asterisk, you gave them peace today, asterisk, asterisk. By opening this message, by staying with it, by listening with your soul. You gave them the moment they never had before they left. Their spirit is calm now, but not gone. Their energy will walk with you from this day forward, not as a ghost, not as a shadow, but as a guide, a whisper behind every strong choice you make, a worm that enters your chest right when you're about to fall apart, a name that shows up when you need it most. Michael says, watch what begins to happen now. Because the moment they finished speaking, a new miracle began its journey toward you. Yes, a miracle, something you've been waiting for. A letter, a call, a payment, a message, a door. It's already in motion. It couldn't reach you until you received this, but now it can, because the energy blocking it has been removed. And the one who passed, they'll be the first to see it arrive. They'll be celebrating behind the veil when it lands at your feet. So don't be surprised when things suddenly change. One piece replaces panic. When money arrives out of nowhere. When people start treating you differently without knowing why. You've stepped into a frequency most people never reach. The frequency of being heard by heaven. Michael says, asterisk, only a chosen few are trusted with this kind of message. You are one of them, asterisk. And now, one final truth. Something you felt all along, but never said out loud. They didn't leave because they wanted to. They left because their soul knew they could protect you better from the other side. Let that sink in. They left so they could stay forever. Not in a room, not in a photograph, but in every single miracle that touches your life from this moment forward. And you'll know it's them. You'll feel it. You'll remember this moment, the day your soul finally opened wide enough to hear the truth. Archangel Michael now says, it is finished. It is sealed. It is done. And as he turns and walks back into the light, your loved one turns once too. They place their hand over their heart, and without saying a word, they smile, because they know. You heard them, and you'll never forget again. You may close this message now, but what it unlocked in you, that stays forever. There's a stillness now, deep, divine, and ancient. It's the silence that only comes after something sacred has touched your spirit. And it's not just silence, it's proof. Proof that something changed inside you today. Something you can't explain, but you'll feel it in the hours and days ahead. Archangel Michael says, asterisk, when a soul accepts a message from beyond the universe Chris bends to serve that acceptance, asterisk. So now watch. Watch how things begin to make sense. Watch how people reveal their true colors suddenly without warning. Watch how you stop chasing what no longer belongs to you, and how the things meant for you start running towards you. That's the echo of the message you just received. That's the power of truth delivered through love, carried on angel wings, and planted deep into your soul. Michael whispers to you now, you will not return to who you were before this moment. You're not supposed to. And the soul who died, they're not gone. Now they are woven into your instincts. They are the pause before your next big decision. They are the ones that enters your heart when you begin to doubt again. They are the moment of courage you'll feel just before everything shifts in your favor. They are your reminder that you are not alone, that you were never forgotten, that even death couldn't silence their love. You are more powerful now than you've ever been, because you are finally carrying the truth they were never able to say. Michael says, use it. Use it to protect your peace. Use it to walk away from the energy that makes you small. Use it to speak up when you used to stay silent. Use it to finally forgive yourself for not being able to say goodbye. Because now you have. This was your goodbye. And also your beginning. Let that be the miracle. Let it bloom inside your life. And when the world tries to pull you back into chaos, when distractions return, when the lies cloud your path again, remember this moment. Remember how your soul responded to these words, not with fear, but with recognition. That's how you know it was real. That's how you know it came from love. And that's how you'll know they're still here. Every single time your heart feels full for no reason. Every time you hear something that reminds you of them. Every time you feel like smiling and crying at the same time. That's them. Still loving you. Still watching over you. Still proud of you. Still whispering. Asterisk, you did it. You stayed. You heard me. You made it to the end. I never stopped believing in you, and I never will, asterisk. And Archangel Michael, he smiles one final time, because a soul has spoken, the truth has been heard, and a new life has already begun. It's yours now. Go live it. Go claim everything they died praying you one day have. Go become the miracle they always knew you were. The message is complete. Heaven is at peace, and your journey is finally back on course. There is one last thing, something only those chosen to receive all the way to the end ever hear. It's not written in books. It's not shared in temples. It's whispered only in rare moments when a soul becomes strong enough to carry what most people fear. Michael steps back into the light now, but before he fades completely, he speaks these final div. Find words over your life. From this moment forward, nothing will block what is meant for you. Not fear, not delay, not the trail, not confusion. Your path is clear because heaven has cleared it for you. Your past loved one stands beside him, no longer burdened, no longer crying, only smiling. Smiling because you finally got it. You finally understood that death isn't the end. It's an extension of love, a redirection of energy, a whisper that never fades once it's been received. You have received the message now, and something within your life will no longer return to the same silence. In the days ahead, you may notice a sign that feels unusually precise, a moment that reaches your heart with such perfect timing that it becomes difficult to ignore. Do not allow fear or doubt to immediately dismiss it. Receive it as a reminder that you are still surrounded by love, protection, and grace. Some moments arrive with such meaning that they awaken what grief once caused you to forget. This message reached you at the exact moment your heart was ready to hear it. Not too early, when you might have resisted it, and not too late, when pain might have already convinced you to stop believing. It arrived now, in the season when healing can finally begin. You may start to notice that long delays are ending, and opportunities that once seemed closed are beginning to open. People who overlooked you may begin recognizing the strength and light that have been returning to your life. This is your light, not the version weakened by grief or silenced by fear, but the one being restored through truth, courage, and renewed faith. Archangel Michael says your dreams may begin to change. Your sleep may become deeper, your mornings calmer, and your heart more peaceful. You may also become more discerning about the people around you. You will begin recognizing who brings honesty and peace into your life and who continually drains your spirit. That wisdom is part of your protection. It is helping you create distance from what harms you and move closer to what supports your healing. You no longer need to chase people who refuse to value you. You do not need to prove your worth, beg to be understood, explain every decision, or make yourself smaller to keep others comfortable. You were never created to carry the darkness, expectations, or unresolved pain of everyone around you. Your story is no longer defined only by what happened to you. It is being rewritten by everything you survived and rose above. Your journey is becoming a testimony of what your soul remembered when the world tried to make you forget your identity. You are seen, held, chosen, and being carried forward by a love that loss could never completely erase. When you begin feeling lost again, return to these words. Read them slowly and allow them to remind you of the strength that awakened within you the first time. Each time you return, let the memories of the person you loved bring courage instead of despair. Let your faith reopen the places fear tried to close, and allow hope to move through your heart once again. Do not simply leave this moment unchanged. Rise from it. Live fully. Receive the peace, confidence, and freedom that have always been waiting for you. The love they gave you remains within your story. Archangel Michael stands as a symbol of strength beside you, and your soul is ready to move forward into the life you were always meant to live. My child, my beloved, my chosen light, my treasured soul, something powerful has just taken place in the heavenly courtroom. Your name was spoken with such authority that it echoed like thunder through the spiritual realm. The angels became still. The gates of favor began to move, and God rose from his throne. Then the gavel fell, and the verdict was announced. The case against you has been closed, but you have not yet heard the complete story. Do not turn away, because behind this heavenly decision is a miracle you never expected. Your life is standing in the middle of a divine reversal, and what once worked against you is beginning to change direction. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel so you can keep receiving messages of faith, encouragement, and spiritual strength. When the enemy attempts to fill your season with silence, these words will remind you that heaven has not forgotten your name. Now listen carefully, because you did not reach this message by accident. Your soul has been crying out. You asked God for a sign, prayed for clarity, and searched for truth while surrounded by confusion and deception. This is the answer your heart has been waiting for. Heaven has officially closed the case concerning your delay, rejection, and hidden suffering. The season that kept you waiting without explanation no longer has authority over your future. But there is a deeper reason the case was closed. And when you understand it, everything will begin making sense. Something tried to erase your name from the story of restoration God was writing over your life. False accusations were raised against your destiny. Lies were spoken. Your character was misrepresented. And forces of darkness attempted to interfere with what God had prepared for you. But God declared that it had gone far enough. He rejected every false report, canceled every accusation, and removed every claim that was being used to hold you back. Now, you are standing at the threshold of one of the greatest moments of vindication you have ever experienced. The truth that was hidden will rise, and what was unfairly taken from you will no longer remain buried. The enemy has been fighting this moment because he recognizes what is about to be released into your life. He knows that once the door opens, the delay will lose its power, and the resistance will no longer be able to keep you in the same place. That is why the pressure has felt so intense. Darkness tried to prevent this message from reaching your heart because it did not want you to discover that heaven had already ruled in your favor. Angels fought through every wave of opposition to bring you this reminder. The case is closed, the accusation has been dismissed, and your season of restoration is beginning. And now you must choose. Open your spirit fully, or walk away blind. My beloved, the case is closed, but your destiny is about to open, because your name, your real name in the heavens, has just been carved into a gate called suddenly. Suddenly wealth, suddenly favor, suddenly healing, suddenly marriage, suddenly apology, suddenly exposure. But only if you hear this entire message, because I must now reveal the most painful part, and why this message was blocked from reaching you 3 times. Someone who ate at your table, used your name in spiritual warfare. They used your pain to purchase their progress. They watched you sing while they climbed. And when heaven reviewed your scroll, God said, "Enough." The sword of justice was released, and it is swinging now. Don't fear. Don't cry. You are protected, but you must not ignore this moment. My beloved, the Holy Spirit whispered your name today to me, and he said, "Michael, go now, speak quickly." They're about to give up. But if they don't open this message, they'll miss what I've sent into the atmosphere. So I came. I descended through the veil, with trembling urgency, with heaven's ink still wet on this word, because your turning around is not next year. It's not next month. It's not even tomorrow. It is now. It is within 30 seconds, and as the clock ticks, your spirit is aligning. Your body is awakening. Your favor is magnetizing. But if you close this message too soon, that magnet turns to mist, and you'll be left wondering why things almost happened but never did. That cycle ends here. That torment breaks now, because the case is closed, and the heavens are roaring for you to step in. My child, are you ready to hear what they did behind your back? Are you ready to know why your name was mentioned in heaven's council today? Then don't stop now, because what I'm about to tell you will unlock the mystery of your delay. And when you understand it, you will never look at your pain the same way again. My beloved, you may feel like your life has been paused for years. You've waited. You've prayed. You've cried in silence. And yet, you watched others rise, while you were left behind. You saw them praised. Well, your goodness was questioned. You saw them applauded. Well, your heart was ignored. But what if I told you they were using your light to shine, your essence to survive, your destiny to feed their own delay? And what if I told you heaven just caught them? Because it's true. They're spiritual. Theft has now been exposed. They tapped into your timeline, the warrior favor like a cloak. They uttered your name in midnight rituals. Yes, child. That's why your life suddenly changed. Why you lost things without reason. Why the door slammed shut when you were almost there. It wasn't just life. It wasn't just God's no. It was spiritual sabotage. But heaven saw it, and God waited. Because divine timing always exposes what human vision cannot. And now, the verdict is final. The courtroom in heaven has ruled, and the ruling was this: no more shall this soul be tampered with. No more shall this child be mocked in secret. I, the Lord, have risen for their defense. My child, I was standing there. When the gavel of divine judgment came crashing down, I saw angels stand at attention. I saw demons scatter. I saw scrolls reversed and rewritten in your favor. Because you were not wrong. You are not weak. You were simply chosen, and they couldn't take it. They wanted your light, but not your pain. They wanted your calling, but not your battle. So they tried to steal the reward without carrying the burden. But the heavens are not blind. The scroll of your life has now been reopened, but not for trial, for victory. It is now titled Divine Compensation. Rush ordered by God. Do you feel that shift in your spirit? That racing heartbeat? That show that touched your back? That is confirmation. It's happening, and it's happening now. Black child, don't forget what I'm about to say next, because it holds the key to whether you walk into this or miss it by seconds, because divine timing always exposes what human vision cannot. And now, the verdict is final. The courtroom in heaven has ruled. And the ruling was this: no more shall this soul be tampered with. No more shall this child be mocked in secret. I, the Lord, have risen for their defense. My child, I was standing there. When the gavel of divine judgment came crashing down, I saw angels stand at attention. I saw demons scatter. I saw scrolls reversed and rewritten in your favor, because you were not wrong. You are not weak. You were simply chosen, and they couldn't take it. They wanted your light, but not your pain. They wanted your calling, but not your battle. So they tried to steal the reward without carrying the burden. But the heavens are not blind. The scroll of your life has now been reopened, but not for trial, for victory. It is now titled Divine Compensation. Rush ordered by God. Do you feel that shift in your spirit? That racing heartbeat? That show that touched your back? That is confirmation. It's happening, and it's happening now. Black child, don't forget what I'm about to say next, because it holds the key to whether you walk into this or miss it by seconds. Your name is being whispered in the earth by people who once forgot you, by officials who once overlooked you, by lovers who once discarded you. They are now being haunted by your absence. And not because you changed, but because heaven changed your positioning. You are no longer available for sabotage. You are no longer vulnerable to delay, because your spiritual armor has been activated. I placed it on you myself last night, while you were asleep, while you were dreaming of freedom. I touched your head. I marked your spirit. I whispered, "It is finished." And that's why you're here now, reading this, trembling, crying. Awake, because your spirit knows I speak the truth. And now I must tell you something urgent. Someone you trusted is about to be exposed. Yes, child, their hands are guilty. Their mouth speaks lies. But their eyes pretended to love you. They smiled in your face. They hugged you with trembling arms. But when you turned, they placed your name in the mouth of wolves. But today, that smile fades. That secret is shattered. Because I, Michael, the angel of war and justice, have been sent with a sword of divine exposure. And I tell you this now. Within 72 hours, a confession will rise. It may be spoken. It may be texted. It may come in dreams, or in slips of the tongue. But heaven says, you will know, because the angel of clarity has been assigned to you, and he will reveal who has betrayed your spirit while pretending to bless your soul. Will you believe it when you see it, or will you fall for the mask again? That is why this message must stay with you. You must read every word, because the end holds your instructions. And if you follow them, nothing will ever be able to steal your destiny again. But I must say this gently. Do not try to fight back in the flesh, because the fight is already won. The case is already closed, and your victory has already been declared. But only if you stay aligned, only if you walk in obedience. Beloved, this is your moment, and I promise you, your next 48 hours will not look like the last 48 hours, because heaven has shifted your name from pending approval. Divine priority, my beloved, you may feel like your life has been paused for years. You've waited, you've prayed, you've cried in silence, and yet you watched others rise. While you were left behind, you saw them praised. Well, your goodness was questioned. You saw them applauded. Well, your heart was ignored. But what if I told you they were using your leg to shine, your essence to survive, your destiny to feed their own delay? And what if I told you haven't just caught them? Because it's true. Their spiritual theft has now been exposed. They tapped into your timeline. They wore your favor like a cloak. They uttered your name in midnight rituals. Yes, child. That's why your life suddenly changed. Why you lost things without reason. Why the door slammed shut when you were almost there. It wasn't just life. It wasn't just God's no. It was spiritual sabotage. But heaven saw it, and God waited, because divine timing always exposes what human vision cannot. And now, the verdict is final. The courtroom in heaven has ruled. And the ruling was this: no more shall the soul be tampered with. No more shall this child be mocked in secret. I, the Lord, have risen for their defense. My child, I was standing there when the gavel of divine judgment came crashing down. I saw angels stand at attention. I saw demons scatter. I saw scrolls reversed and rewritten in your favor, because you were not wrong. You are not weak. You were simply chosen, and they couldn't take it. They wanted your light, but not your pain. They wanted your calling, but not your battle. So they tried to steal the reward without carrying the burden. But the heavens are not blind. The scroll of your life has now been reopened, but not for trial, for victory. It is now titled Divine Compensation. Rush ordered by God. Do you feel that shift in your spirit? That racing heartbeat? That show that touched your back? That is confirmation. It's happening, and it's happening now. The child. Don't forget what I'm about to say next, because it holds the key to whether you walk into this or miss it by seconds. Your name is being whispered in the earth by people who once forgot you, by officials who once overlooked you, by lovers who once discarded you. They are now being haunted by your absence, and not because you changed, but because heaven changed your positioning. You are no longer available for sabotage. You are no longer vulnerable to delay, because your spiritual armor has been activated. I placed it on you myself last night, while you were asleep, while you were dreaming of freedom. I touched your head. I marked your spirit. You were simply chosen, and they couldn't take it. They wanted your light, but not your pain. They wanted your calling, but not your battle. So they tried to steal the reward without carrying the burden. But the heavens are not blind. The scroll of your life has now been reopened, but not for trial, for victory. It is now titled Divine Compensation. Rush ordered by God. Do you feel that shift in your spirit? That racing heartbeat? That show that touched your back? That is confirmation. It's happening, and it's happening now. Black child, don't forget what I'm about to say next, because it holds the key to whether you walk into this or miss it by seconds. Your name is being whispered in the earth by people who once forgot you, by officials who once overlooked you, by lovers who once discarded you. They are now being haunted by your absence, and not because you changed, but because heaven changed your positioning. You are no longer available for sabotage. You are no longer vulnerable to delay, because your spiritual armor has been activated. I placed it on you myself last night, while you were asleep, while you were dreaming of freedom. I touched your head. I marked your spirit. I whispered, "It is finished." And that's why you're here now, reading this, trembling, crying, awake, because your spirit knows I speak the truth. And now I must tell you something urgent. Someone you trusted is about to be exposed. Yes, child, their hands are guilty. Their mouth speaks lies, but their eyes pretended to love you. They smiled in your face. They hugged you with trembling arms. But when you turned, they placed your name in the mouth of wolves. But today, that smile fades. That secret is shattered. Because I, Michael, the angel of war and justice, have been sent with a sword of divine exposure. And I tell you this now. Within 72 hours, a confession will rise. It may be spoken. It may be texted. It may come in dreams, or in slips of the tongue. But heaven says, you will know, because the angel of clarity has been assigned to you, and he will reveal who has betrayed your spirit while pretending to bless your soul. Will you believe it when you see it? Or will you fall for the mask again? That is why this message must stay with you. You must read every word. because the end holds your instructions, and if you follow them, nothing will ever be able to steal your destiny again. But I must say this gently. Do not try to fight back in the flesh, because the fight is already won. The case is already closed, and your victory has already been declared. But only if you stay aligned, only if you walk in obedience. Beloved, this is your moment, and I promise you, your next 48 hours will not look like the last 48 hours, because heaven has shifted your name from pending approval. Divine priority. My beloved, you may feel like your life has been paused for years. You've waited. You've prayed. You've cried in silence. And yet, you watched others rise. While you were left behind, you saw them praised. Well, your goodness was questioned. You saw them applauded. Well, your heart was ignored. But what if the people who stood near you were benefiting from your light while refusing to honor the pain it took for you to carry it? What if they used your strength to survive, leaned on your kindness to keep moving, and delayed their own growth by depending on what God placed inside you? Now, the truth is being exposed. What was hidden can no longer remain concealed. The ways they misused your trust, borrowed your confidence, and took advantage of your generosity are being brought into the light. This is why certain areas of your life seem to change without explanation. Opportunities disappeared, relationships shifted, and doors closed just when you believed you were about to enter. It felt confusing because you could not see what was happening behind the scenes. But not every closed door meant that God had rejected you. Some setbacks revealed the influence of people who were working against your peace, misusing your name, or trying to interfere with the direction of your life. Heaven saw everything. God did not overlook the manipulation, deception, or secret disrespect. He allowed time to reveal what human eyes could not recognize immediately. Now, the verdict has been given. No longer will your soul be treated as something others can control. No longer will you be mocked in secret while your kindness is used against you. The Lord has risen to defend your name and protect what He placed within you. My child, I witnessed the moment when divine justice answered. The gavel came down, the angels stood ready, and every dark plan formed against your future began losing its authority. The story that others tried to write over your life is being corrected. What was twisted is being made straight, and what was used against you is being turned in your favor. You were not foolish for loving deeply. You were not weak for giving people another chance. You were chosen to carry a light they admired but did not understand. They wanted the fruit of your calling without enduring the battles that shaped your character. They desired your reward without carrying the burden, discipline, loneliness, and sacrifice that prepared you to receive it. But heaven is not blind. God saw every hidden tear, every silent struggle, and every moment when you kept going while others benefited from your strength. The scroll of your life has been opened again, not so you can return to another trial, but so a new chapter of victory can begin. This chapter carries a different title: Divine Restoration and Compensation, ordered by God for everything you survived, lost, and faithfully endured. Perhaps you can already sense the shift within your spirit. Your heart may be beating faster, or a sudden warmth may move through your body. Let that moment remind you that hope is returning and your story is changing. What was taken cannot erase what God has placed inside you. Your light still belongs to you. Your calling remains secure, and the future prepared for you cannot be permanently stolen by anyone. It's happening, and it's happening now. Black child, don't forget what I'm about to say next, because it holds the key to whether you walk into this or miss it by seconds. Your name is being whispered in the earth. Black people who once forgot you, by officials who once overlooked you, by lovers who once discarded you. They are now being haunted by your absence, and not because you changed, but because heaven changed your positioning. You are no longer available for sabotage. You are no longer vulnerable to delay, because your spiritual armor has been activated. I placed it on you myself last night, while you were asleep, while you were dreaming of freedom. I touched your head. I marked your spirit. I whispered, "It is finished." And that's why you're here now, reading this, trembling, crying, awake, because your spirit knows I speak the truth. And now I must tell you something urgent. Someone you trusted is about to be exposed. Yes, child, their hands are guilty. Their mouth speaks lies. But their eyes pretended to love you. They smiled in your face. They hugged you with trembling arms. But when you turned, they placed your name in the mouth of wolves. But today, that smile fades. That secret is shattered. Black child, don't forget what I'm about to say next, because it holds the key to whether you walk into this or miss it by seconds. Your name is being whispered in the earth by people who once forgot you, by officials who once overlooked you, by lovers who once discarded you. They are now being haunted by your absence, and not because you changed, but because heaven changed your positioning. You are no longer available for sabotage. You are no longer vulnerable to delay, because your spiritual armor has been activated. I placed it on you myself last night, while you were asleep, while you were dreaming of freedom. I touched your head. I marked your spirit. I whispered, "It is finished," and that's why you're here now, reading this, trembling, crying, awake, because your spirit knows I speak the truth. And now I must tell you something urgent. Someone you trusted is about to be exposed. Yes, child, their hands are guilty. Their mouth speaks lies. But their eyes pretended to love you. They smiled in your face. They hugged you with trembling arms. But when you turned, they placed your name in the mouth of wolves. But today, that smile fades. That secret is shattered. Because I, Michael, the angel of war and justice, have been sent with the sword of divine exposure. And I tell you this now. Within 72 hours, a confession will rise. It may be spoken. It may be texted. It may come in dreams, or in slips of the tongue. But heaven says, you will know, because the angel of clarity has been assigned to you, and he will reveal who has betrayed your spirit while pretending to bless your soul. Will you believe it when you see it, or will you fall for the mask again? That is why this message must stay with you. You must read every word, because the end holds your instructions, and if you follow them, nothing will ever be able to steal your destiny again. But I must say this gently. Do not try to fight back in the flesh, because the fight is already won. The case is already closed, and your victory has already been declared. But only if you stay aligned, only if you walk in obedience. Beloved, this is your moment, and I promise you, Your next 48 hours will not look like the last 48 hours, because heaven has shifted your name from pending approval. Divine priority. My child, my beloved, now that you know the case is closed, you must understand what's about to open, because you're not just walking into a new season. You're stepping into a realm where nothing stolen remains stolen, where everything delayed returns doubled, where every lie becomes your launch. This is the moment they didn't want you to see, the moment they tried to hide with distraction. What's discouragement? With fake love and sweet manipulation. But you saw through it. Even when you didn't have proof, your spirit was alert, your soul was screaming, and having heard it all, you said to yourself, why does this always happen to me? But what you didn't know is it was a pattern programmed by a spiritual thief. Yes, child. They try to rewrite your divine timing. They planted seeds of confusion in the soil of your peace, and they expected you to collapse. But you didn't. You held on, even in secret tears, even when no one noticed your silence. And because of that, heaven has rewritten your name on a golden scroll. And do you know what's written beside it? This one did not quit. Therefore, release the rewards immediately. The angels are preparing your table now. A real table. A divine table. In the presence of those who mocked your storm. You asked God for a blessing, but He's sending a divine banquet. And child, here's the mystery. Some of your enemies are still smiling at you. Some are still loving you, but you'll soon see. They were sent as delay agents, spiritual hackers, disguised as friends, hidden as lovers, masters, mentors. And the moment you open this message, their veil began to tear. So, if you suddenly feel anxious, or if your body trembles without reason, it's not fear. It's the exposure of the energies that were once hiding around you. You're becoming aware, spiritually alert, divinely sensitive, because Archangel Michael has placed a discernment mantle on your shoulders. You will begin to notice your dreams becoming more vivid, people saying things they didn't mean to say, secrets being whispered in your hearing range, text being sent to you by accident. But nothing is accidental anymore. This is divine design, because the old season tried to bury you. But now, heaven is resurrecting your real timeline, the one the enemy feared, the one they prayed you'd never walk into. And do you want to know why they're scared? Because you are holding keys in your spirit, keys that unlock wealth, keys that birth nations, keys that awaken bloodlines. Yes, your bloodline has been sleeping, but you are the disruptor, the one God chose to change the pattern. And now, the enemy knows it's too late to stop you. But listen carefully, child, because your next decision matters more than ever. If you go back to familiar places, if you return to the voices of delay, if you ignore this warning, you will open the case again, and heaven has already closed it. Find it, sealed it. The next move is yours. Will you trust what you feel in your spirit right now? Will you believe that the shaking in your chest isn't fear? It's confirmation. Then hear this. A divine appointment is coming. A message, a person, a call, a window. It will look small, but inside it will be the answer you've waited years to touch. Do not ignore it. Do not delay it. because heaven does not repeat opportunities like this twice. And child, one more thing I must tell you. The enemy is not done attacking, but now they are attacking with desperation, because they know you've escaped. You've opened the right scroll. You've stepped into alignment. So don't be surprised if chaos shows up. It's the sign that your breakthrough is now visible in the Spirit. Yes, your bloodline has been sleeping, but you are the disruptor, the one God chose to change the pattern. And now, the enemy knows it's too late to stop you. But listen carefully, child, because your next decision matters more than ever. If you go back to familiar places, if you return to the voices of delay, if you ignore this warning, you will open the case again, and heaven has already closed it, signed it, sealed it. The next move is yours. Will you trust what you feel in your spirit right now? Will you believe that the shaking in your chest isn't fear? It's confirmation. Then hear this. A divine appointment is coming. A message, a person, a call, a window. It will look small, but inside it will be the answer you've waited years to touch. Do not ignore it. Do not delay it, because heaven does not repeat opportunities like this twice. And child, one more thing I must tell you. The enemy is not done attacking, but now they are attacking with desperation, because they know you've escaped. You've opened the right scroll. You've stepped into alignment. So don't be surprised if chaos shows up. It's the sign that your breakthrough is now visible in the Spirit. You're glowing in the spirit realm, and the darkness hates what it sees. But don't be afraid, because I, Archangel Michael, have surrounded your name with flame. No curse can cross it. No hacks can hold it. No gossip can grip it. No weapon can work against it. You are now untouchable, because you are now aware. And this awareness is your weapon. Let me now give you the next instruction, the next divine layer, because what's coming next is bigger than anything you've imagined in the last 7 years. My child, my beloved, you must listen carefully now, because heaven just changed the direction of your entire timeline. I was there when God said it, and I've been sent to say it to you now. The chapter they tried to bury you in will become the introduction to your greatest story. They closed the door on you. But it wasn't a rejection. It was divine rerouting. Because had you stayed there, had that relationship worked, had that job accepted you, had those friends remained, you would have missed what was written for you only, the pain that broke you. It was the sound of the old chain shattering, the silence that scared you. It was the clearing of the path for divine voices. And the people who walked away from you, they were not taken. They were removed because their loyalty had a time limit, and your destiny didn't. That's why you felt abandoned. But what you really were was being cleared for higher places. Now hear this. Your name was just written into the scroll of sudden restoration. That scroll is only unsealed for those who stayed faithful through closed doors. And heaven just lifted the seal. I, Michael, was standing next to the angel who unrolled it. And I saw your name, written in bold gold flame, carved into the center, no longer on the edge. My beloved, you're no longer being skipped. You're no longer being watched from a distance. You are now the reason heaven is rushing. And this is not a metaphor. Heaven is literally rushing. to return what the enemy delayed. Listen, the next 7 days of your life are not ordinary. They are appointed, anointed, supernaturally activated. If you stay aligned with this message, you will feel it. The dreams, the restlessness, the holy shaking. Don't resist it. It means the angels are moving. Around your home, inside your heart, around your name. Because the courtroom didn't just close your old case. It also signed off on a supernatural compensation package. You may ask, Michael, what's included in that? I will tell you, but what you do after reading this will determine how fast you receive it. Here's what's inside: the apology you never thought you'd hear, the finances that never made it to your hands, the breakthrough that was hijacked, the marriage that was buried in doubt, the joy you forgot you could feel. Everything they said you would never reach is already being prepared. The new place, the open door, and the future that once seemed impossible are all moving into position. Heaven has already assigned help for the journey ahead, but there is one thing still required from you: your agreement, your surrender, and your willingness to believe boldly. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to remain open and available to what God is asking you to do. Do not hesitate when the next step becomes clear. Faith moves forward even before every detail is visible. When you obey, momentum begins to build, and the path that once felt blocked starts opening before you. Beloved, do not keep looking behind you, because what is coming is not hidden in your past. Your next chapter will not be found in the places that wounded you or among the people who refused to recognize your value. Some people from your past may still be watching. An old relationship, former friends, or those who secretly hoped you would fail may be paying attention to your life. They are not unsettled simply because you moved forward. They are unsettled because everything intended to destroy you failed. The silence did not crush you. The delay did not defeat you. The disappointment did not erase your faith. They believed that when one chapter closed, God had forgotten you. But heaven was not ignoring your pain. God was preparing a response that would reveal the truth and overturn what was done against you. Now the sword of truth is moving through every lie. Hidden motives will be revealed. Delayed opportunities will return to their proper timing. And the situation that once embarrassed you will begin displaying God's faithfulness. The same people who once mocked or underestimated you may soon ask, how did everything change so completely for them? And your answer will be simple. One case was closed, but God opened the promise that no person could cancel. My beloved, remain attentive, because a small confirmation may appear soon. It may come through an unexpected conversation, a meaningful dream, a familiar name, or a quiet conviction rising within your spirit. When it comes, do not dismiss it immediately. Pause, pray, and ask God for wisdom to recognize what deserves your attention and what should be left behind. Speak these words with faith. I receive what God is releasing into my life. I reject agreement with delay, fear, and discouragement. I step forward into the promise He has prepared for me. Repeat it whenever doubt returns, not because the words themselves control your future, but because they remind your heart to remain aligned with truth. Child, you are not weak. You are not cursed, forgotten, abandoned, or too late. You have arrived at this moment with greater wisdom, strength, and discernment than you carried before. What felt like delay may have been preparation. God was strengthening your heart, so you would be ready to carry the responsibility, peace, and purpose connected to the next season. And now you are ready. Your heart recognizes it, your spirit is awakening to it, and heaven is calling you to move forward without returning to fear.